Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode here where I'm documenting my day trading process, trial and error extravaganza. And today I'm not exactly sure. I haven't really added it up yet, but I'm going to do that for you guys in just a second. But it is May 1st, which means I'm also going to be publishing exactly how much money I made and lost over April. And I'm going to do that because I want to be honest and open about this day trading thing. There's a lot of people online with a lot of hype, and they're making a lot of money, I guess, filmed with fancy cars and all this stuff. And here I am with this little, pop culture things in the background. And I mean, nothing fancy like a Lamborghini or anything like that. It's a good day if I'm in the green, right? But I'm going to document it for you guys, and I'm going to share with it because May now brings on a new set of challenges. I want to try something new in May. And so, more about that later. But right now, let's just get to the charts. That's what you're here for anyway. So let's just. So here we are in trading Thinkorswim, which is TD Ameritrade's platform. And it was a wild day in trading. It's been a wild few days in trading. I'll show you the charts right now. I mean, down $56 on the day. Whatever. Let's look at the charts, and then that'll give you a better impression about how I traded today. And one thing I was thinking about when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this video and I haven't made any money today. I'm in the red, but I felt like a very good day. It felt like a day that I was actually doing well at trading. And I know it sounds weird because I lost a lot of, I lost $56 and I traded a ton of shares and all this stuff. But my trades were really well executed on my part. Had some more issues with getting the proper fills with Thinkorswim. So that is going to be something I look at moving forward is maybe getting a different broker. And I'm going to keep you guys updated on that as we go. But when we look at the S&P 500, let's just recap where we're at. This is SPY, which is an ETF of the S&P 500. And since our highs back in February, since this coronavirus shutdown thing happened, we've seen this crazy decline. I think it's like a 39 or 40% decline. And then the low was put in on this ETF at 217.75. Since then, we have been battling back in the S&P 500, and it has climbed, and we were able to draw some trend lines with that. So let's just look at the important ones. It's this blue dashed line, and so you can see this ETF, rose up and down, and then bam, bam, bam. Like it just keeps testing this line on the way up. Now this dashed blue line is it's an important resistance level, and that was put in right here at 288.6. So, and if I am correct, it also. Well, like here's another one, right? So on its way down, it bounces off it, then it breaks through it, comes back up and tests it again, it holds, and then it holds here again. So we know that that's a zone of resistance for the S&P 500. And remember, I'm just trading technicals. I'm not trading any of the fundamentals because price action is psychology. Just put on the charts. So anyway, so you can see again, we're rising up. We have this trend line here. We have this resistance level here. And we hit this resistance level back on the 16th, I think it was, of April. And then we came back down and we broke through this upward trend line. And then we retested this trend line all the way up. And I'll zoom in a little bit closer so we can see that. So now we're going to look at the retests here. I'm actually going to get rid of all these studies as well. Remove all studies. That's fine. Okay. So you can see we tested here, we came back down, tested here, came back up, tested here. Once we broke through this resistance level, and then we fell back below that resistance level, and then we broke back through it, and we tested it up here again, and then here, and then here. So we've been testing this trend line all the way up. Now, when we zoom out again, let's zoom out one more time just so we get a really good picture of what's taking place. And this is, I think it's really important. It's important for my thesis as well about this market. So let's zoom out here. Because we want to look at, and then I need to go back to this 4-hour chart. Okay. Okay, so we're seeing, and I know this is crazy hard to see because I have all the resistance levels drawn in here, but I want to keep them, so I'm going to keep them on the screen for us as we look at this. But you get the idea. Okay, so we see that we're also forming sort of this wedge. Okay, so this wedge is also, it's getting narrower, right? And we broke out of that wedge. And so now we're out here. So we've broken out of this wedge pattern through this upward trend line, back down through this resistance line. And so this whole area is really, it's just no man's land, right? We'll see what happens, but usually this is not a sign of strength, it's a sign of weakness. And so when we look at the overall market, we're seeing overall a sign of weakness back down, and we might continue through these levels. So with that, now that we know that we're out of this wedge pattern, and we're now on the downside of the resistance level and of the trend line, now let's look at what's been going on in the last 5 days of trading. So this is where we've been. Test over here, an attempt, we broke through. It was, I traded that day, came back down, we broke back below with authority, right? With authority, that's important. And then again, with authority, we bust through these levels. So important if you guys are, and this is not advice, but if I'm going to trade these, I want to make sure to capitalize on those breakthrough of resistance levels. And then we test, broke through, false breakout, boom, shot up, and then rose up, tested here again, came back down, tested here again, and now we're on this downtrend. We've been on this downtrend for about 2 days now, of just continuous from this 296 high all the way down. These are some trades yesterday, and then here we are today. Now, with that, you can see we're at this level here that we're testing again. It took us a few times to break this level, if I'm right. Yeah, it's this gold line. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, and we broke through finally back here whenever it was, a week ago. So now it's the same sort of thing. We're testing it, and then hopefully, my thought is that we are now on the underside of this. We're on the underside of this, that this is a sign of weakness, and so this is not advice. I am just, for me personally, when I think about the market, I'm thinking that this has potential to go down even further and maybe retest the lows that were put in back at 217, a month ago or whatever we're at. Quarantine gets to you a little bit. So that's the market in my analysis. Okay, now let's look at how I traded today. So when we look at the chart today, again, traded a lot, and I was able to trade in the morning because for like, I don't know, half an hour or something like that while I fed my son, I was able to trade just a little bit, and it didn't go too well for me. And I traded so many shares, I'm not going to get into like all the nitty-gritty places that I traded because there were a lot of trades. But I do want to show you the patterns that developed, because this is what I took away, and this is how I was able to after trading that many shares, to only be down that much, that's not a horrible thing in the long term. So I was able to draw this trend line after we had a clear pattern that formed at about 957. Right, we tried to test here, we tried to test here, and we were unable to break through. And so when we were unable to break through, then I was looking at, and I'll just put this in here. When we were unable to break through up here at the top, this is almost horizontal resistance, then I was looking for us to test some of these lows back here. Some of these overnight lows, some of these resistance levels. And so that's what the big play was for me throughout the day. Ooh, come on. Okay. So early in the morning, we were able to break through this point. We set a high, and then we came back down, and then we came back up to test it. We came back down to this low that we were putting in overnight, some of these lows. And then we came back up, test, down, test, 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 and then we finally saw it break downward into this downward pattern. Now I was not around to be able to trade this because I just wasn't, available and all that stuff. But when I got back to my computer, I was able to draw some of these trend lines here. And so I'll show you this false breakout got me because I thought, oh, we're gonna come back down, test, and then go higher. So I believe I traded that, but we didn't go higher. We went even lower, and so that was when I thought, okay, we're probably gonna test this gold line. And so we kept going lower, and then I thought, okay, but we put in this low, came back up. I thought we'd stay underneath this trend line. We did not stay underneath that trend line, so that again, it was minimal losses, but we did not stay under that trend line. We broke above it, not with authority, right? But we meandered up towards here. I thought I was waiting for like a break of this horizontal zone here. Didn't happen. Fell back down. Okay. I thought we'd retest this again. Didn't happen. Came back up, and we kind of leveled off for the day. Okay, and put in this low at 281.52. So we tested it here. Well, we tested it here. Came back up. Retest. Came back up. Test, test, test. Came back up, unable to break this high. Back down low. And that's where we started an uptrend. Now this is where I was able to be at my trading desk and able to make some of these trades. And I made some really good trades, and I made some really bad trades. But as a whole, I was happy with the way in which I was able to draw this trend line, because this trend line really became my guidepost. I'll make it there. It really became my guiding trend line for the big trades that I made. So I was able to capture this trade perfectly. I timed it right on this trend line here. After that low came in, I did a red to green trade where I just said, okay, if it makes a new high, the next candle to make a new high, I will trade that. And I did. I was able to trade it, and it was wonderful. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more for you. So I traded this candle here, and it broke up, and I rode this. It was a few $100 trade. It was great. And then we, because you can see it's really moving here. It's really moving here. So I wasn't stopped out. Then we came back down, and I was, that's where I was stopped out, and took some profits, right? And then we kept moving up, and I thought, okay, this is a good sign. We're going to see some more momentum to the upside, and had some choppy trades here. But we came back down, and we were hitting this trend line again. I was like, oh, great, 1, 2, 3. So when I saw a new candle, which was right here, form a high, took that trade on a swing up, and then thought it was going to go higher, right? Got stopped out. It's fine, whatever. Made some profits there. I thought up here that we would have continued higher, but we reached this resistance level, came back lower, and so I tried to short this, but see how big these candles were? That's where I lost some money there, and then I lost some money somewhere else in here. So those were my big losers. And so then it was like, okay, well, I'll get it back on this when we bounce off this trend line and moved higher. Didn't happen, and so on the way down. But again, this is just to say that this trend line, the ability to establish these trend lines and make trades off them, yeah, you're not going to get every trade right. And again, this is not advice. I'm not going to get every trade right. I might lose 60% of them. But when you hit these correctly, if you buy in the correct places, then you're able to maximize your returns to the upside. And that is something where, again, today, down $56 or whatever it was in my day trading account, but played a good game, had a good day trading. It's like in football where if you can play a really good game and you can still lose. And today I played a really good game. I just lost still, right? Learned a lot and come back better next time from it. So that's kind of the goal. This end here is worth discussing. Trading at the end of the day is crazy. And so I almost feel like there's so many people that enter the market that, and I need to do more research on this, but there's just so many people that are in the market. Oh no, I lost my camera, but I got to keep going because I got to wrap this up. So I'm just going to continue talking through this. I wonder if I can do There we go. Wow, a look behind the scenes. It's just much more nice. It's just nicer to have someone talking. This is my studio. There we go. Okay, so with this, sorry if this will look a little funny. Sorry about that. So at the end of the day here, it was just crazy. It was wild. We had the market went through this trend line, came back up, tested, came back down, up, tested, down. I thought it was going to reach way down here and I could buy it off of the 281.99 or the 282 level. That didn't happen. Shot back up. So this is within 1 minute, it shot back up what it took to lose in 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 minutes. So boom, 1 minute, shot all the way back up to and then it went past this line. So in 2 minutes, it gained what it didn't in the previous like 10. Then I thought, okay, well this must mean that it's going to stay above this trend line. Well, that didn't happen at all. Shot back below and then came back up to test and then went back down below and then came back down to test this one. And this all happens, there's only like 10 minutes left in the market at the time that this goes on. And it's just like, oh my goodness. So here we go from here. So we went from 282.02 up to 282.86 and then all the way back down to 281.63 and then ended the day all the way back up at 282.76. So this is just a huge spread of these trades, and it just happens so quick and so erratic that it makes getting orders very, very difficult. Now, I was able to trade this one here. I did put a trade on. Won't do this. Don't want to do this again. I'm going to say won't, but I probably will. But I don't want to do this again. Is to trade some of these trades because big buyers, big sellers enter the market and push down the price, or big buyers, big sellers enter the market and push up the price. So just a wild day in the market, especially the last 10 minutes. But again, it was a good day. Most of my trades, I know this is kind of a crazy video to make because I'm in a rush, but I want to make a video. But most of my trades were good trades. Most of my trades were good trades. I just had a few bad trades that kind of cost me a lot of money. So as I keep being disciplined and learning how to be disciplined, I think I will become a better trader. And I'm moving this into more macro trading instead of day trading because in May I've got other goals aside from day trading that I want to accomplish, and so that's something that I'm going to be talking about later on. So if that's something you're into, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, do all those things that people on YouTube do, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.